Hello, my name is Tisha Jaziri and welcome to my show. I work for Faster Learning Consulting. At Faster Learning Consulting, our main objective is to teach you mental math, speed reading, and memory skills. And apart from that also, we teach learners how to learn a new language very fast. Today, we're going to work on mental maths, okay? Today, I want to teach you maths shortcuts. So we're going to focus on a very small and easy way of addition. That's going to be my objective today. So I'm going to start with how to add numbers, very simple. My goal is I'm going to demonstrate by writing, but when you use my method, I'm going to give you tips on how to use these methods that I'm going to show you to add words from your mind, and so that you can add numbers very fast, okay? So that's going to be our objective. But like I always say, before we start on my objective, I will give you one takeaway. So today I'm going to give you one takeaway, and it's going to focus on what I call mirror numbers, or someone can say they are inverse numbers. So this is going to just be something that you can take away and you can also use. So come to me, follow me, and I will show you how the mirror numbers work. So most of the time, there are numbers that mirror each other. And if you know how they mirror, these numbers relate, you will find it easy to do your calculation. So for example, I'm going to have a couple of numbers and we're going to see how they are related and how they mirror each other, okay? So the first number I'm going to work on, so let's say I have 1, is to have 12 squared, and we'll see how 12 squared mirrors, because if you now change 12, you have to be 21. That means 2 comes first and 1, and then you square it, you will see how that one behaves. And then if you come to 13 squared, and then we want to also look at how 31 squared behave, okay? So this is our takeaway for today. So this is going to be number 2, number 3, number 4. So I'm only going to give you this one to take away because there are so many, the list is longer, but I just want to show you how these numbers behave. And go and try it and enjoy maths, okay? So let's take 12 squared. 12 squared normally is 144. Now the funny thing is that if you just have that 2 come in front of 1, so that becomes 21. 21 squared becomes 441. What you'll notice immediately is that now we have 1, we have this 4, we have this, and 1 has been replaced. That means the answer that we had, 144, has just been mirrored or reversed, and now we have instead 441 as the answer. The same happens with numbers like 13. So 13 squared is always 169. What you're going to realize here is that 31 squared is 961. So this again is a takeaway for you, just that you play with maths, okay? So you realize that in this case again, this one is written here. This 9 becomes the first number here, 6 is still in the middle, and that's how everything remains. That means that the more you know how numbers relate, you will see this kind of patterns, and this is going to help you a lot while doing your mathematics. And this one is going to ease your ability to do mathematics, because now if someone asks you, or at least from here we've now learned what is 12 squared, what is 21 squared, what is 13 squared, and 31 squared, and you know that these numbers, the answer, if you know 13 squared is 169, now 31 squared is just the reverse of that. Now you mirror the number, and now you have 9 starting from this side, 6 in the middle, and 1. And if it's 12 squared, you have 144, so you have 144, and 21 squared is 441. So that is mirror number, and this was my takeaway for you today. And try this one at home and see. Try with other numbers, so that you see the relationship between numbers. There are so many like this, and that's going to help you with your squaring, to make squaring easy, okay? So, having done that, I will like us now to go to my objective today on giving you tips on how to add numbers. But before that, remember next week from 4th, we're going to have our boot camp, our mental maths boot camp. So please call us on this number so that you get to come to our event, okay? Then we can teach you, and call us and we will talk about it. So today, like I said, my objective is to talk about addition. There are so many things about addition that I want to talk about. One is, I was taught in school, and I think you are taught in school, that you add always from your right going to the left. But from my perspective, I teach kids to add always from the left to the right, okay? That means, I give this because it's logic, and the logic behind this is this. If you have 1,550, let's say you have 1,551, so that means you have separate, like you have a note of 1,000 Kenya shilling, for example, and then you have note of 500 shillings, and you have 50 shillings, and you have 1. So how would you say, how will your brain interpret these numbers? Your brain is not going to interpret 1 shilling, 50, 500, and 1,000. That is what you're trying to do when you're adding numbers from right to left, okay? So that's why addition becomes hard, because that's not how your brain works. Your brain doesn't start with 1 shilling, 50, 500, and 1,000. Your brain always starts from left to right, and that's why if you learn how to do addition from left to right, things are going to be easy, okay? So then you have 1,551, not 100. So that is the philosophy behind it. So that is one thing when you're doing addition. Second thing, when you're doing addition, there's some small rules that I want to show you. So we are going to start with rule. So there are some rules that you need for when you're doing addition, and this is going to help you do your addition very fast. For example, if you have a profession of doing like a statistician, or if you are an accountant, okay, these rules are going to help you. Even if you're a student or a pupil, this is going to help you when you're doing your addition. So one thing is that every time, let's say A, every time you're adding 9 or a number that ends with 9, okay, so basically add 10 to that number, or maybe promote that number to be 10, and then after doing your addition, then less 1. So what am I saying? What I'm trying to say is, like, if you have 8 plus 9, that is if I use now the small digits. So promote this one to be 10. So if you want to do it very fast, just say 8 plus 10, which gives you 18. So that is easy to get than thinking, oh yeah, 8 plus 9, you start counting your fingers. But if you say 8 plus 10 gives you 18, and then you're only supposed to then subtract 1. So 18 minus 1 is easier than 8 plus 9, okay? And that's why here you're going to get 17, okay? So that's what I'm trying to say. And now B is the same. Now, if you want to add 8, basically add 10, okay? And also in 8, less 2. So for 7, add 10, so, and less 3. So that way until the end. Let's have examples and see how that one works in addition. So like I said, so if you're given example 1, if you are given, let's say 23 plus 29. 29, that means you can promote this one to 10. So that 29 becomes 30, and then you know that 23 plus 30 is 53. The only thing you would say is 23 plus 30. You promote this 29 to 30, so then you have 53. And the next thing you have to do is just subtract 1 from it, so you know you have 52. This method makes addition quicker. It makes addition quicker because you can always promote numbers, and you can always, it helps you do mathematics from your brain without taking a pen. This you can use always at the cashier in a supermarket, so that you can averagely have an idea of how much you have in your wagon. Okay. And this method helps you just by knowing how to promote numbers. So that's, let's say another one. Okay. So if you have, let's say 41 plus 88. The same procedure, promote this one, because now we have a number that ends with 8. That means you're going to promote this one to be 90, and you're going to then later subtract 2 from it, okay? So in this case, you can imagine 41 plus 90, because this is easy to add. So you have here 131, okay? So what you have here is 131. Now subtract 2. Which gives you 129. And that way you can come up with so many ideas and additions. Your numbers are going to be easier to manage, okay? Now I want us to have a look at something else, okay? And what we're going to look at now is subtraction. But before, you remember, we are having so many videos on our social media. You can visit us at Faster Learning Consulting. Just go to YouTube, subscribe our channel, and share. And if you also want to learn more about Faster Learning, go to our videos, watch those videos, and give us a comment what you like or what we need to change, okay? And apart from that also, remember that next week we are having a powerful boot camp. We are going to have an intensive week of only mental maths. We're going to do from 9 to 4, only working on mental maths. So subscribe to our channel and promote us, please, okay? And for any information, call us on the numbers that are going to appear on the screen. Now let's introduce subtraction. Subtraction, the same, like I said with addition. Every time you want to subtract any number, from my philosophy, please, we are going to subtract always from left to right. You remember what I talked about when we talked about subtraction, addition, that we add from right to left, and not from right from left to right, and not from right to left, okay? Sorry for that tongue twisting. Now there's also similar rule. In this case it's almost similar to the addition rules, but it's just different. So let's say, what are the rules when it comes to subtraction? In this case, 1, if you want to subtract 9, basically subtract 10, okay? And in this case now you don't less 1 like in addition, but in this case you're going to add 1, What am I saying? I'm saying, for example, if you have 8, let's say if you have 15 minus 9, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to say, assume 15 minus 10 gives you 5, okay? So in that case, what you're going to do is you're going to add 1 to this. You're going to add 1, so that one gives you 6. Like this, you're going to do your calculation, your subtraction very fast, just because you're using that method. So suppose you have, let's say, 84 minus 8. So in this case, what you have is 8. So if you had to subtract 8, just subtract 10, like here, but then here you're going to add 2. Okay, so what we're going to say, what is 84 minus 8? So we're going to say 84, just minus 10, so you have 74. You have here 74. And now, because this is 8, you're going to add 2, so you have 76. This way, you are going to subtract numbers very fast. So please, always bear in mind every time you're doing your subtraction and addition, remember the rules. If in addition you are going to add 10 and subtract the equivalent. In subtraction also you're going to subtract 10 but then add. So that is the difference, okay? Now, subtraction of numbers that are not the same. For example, you may have numbers that are in 100, so for example 123, and you want to subtract it, so this is our A. You want to subtract maybe, let's say, 89. Okay? So there's one thing that I always say, I call it like reference number. So our reference number is 100 because these numbers are close to 100. So I would have my reference number as 100. And what I'm going to ask myself is, what is 23 minus 100? So if I subtract that one, I'm going to have 23. And then what is 8? What is 100 minus 89? I have 11. So basically what you're doing is subtraction is just like addition in another way. So in this case, I will look at the difference between 100 and 89 and the difference here, and then the 2, I add the 2. Okay, so that also is a focus of doing your addition. What makes addition becomes more interesting. Doing your subtraction, which make subtraction become more interesting, because you are not going to add them manually, but you're going to say, okay, these numbers are close to 100. In fact, you don't even have to write this. I'm just writing this one to demonstrate. But when I look at this number, I'm going to say 11 plus 23, which I know is going to give me 34. So I will already think in terms of 34 just from looking at this question. And that is, for me, the beauty of doing mental maths. So let's say you have B, you have something like 100 and let's say 12 minus 53. So in this case, like I said, you know that the difference here is 47 and here is 12. So if your reference number is 100 here, you just say 100 minus this and 100 minus this one. So 100 minus this is going to be 47, and 100 minus 112 is 12. Is 12. Okay? So what we are having here is going to be 59. So if you think the way I'm thinking, subtraction becomes different, because what you're thinking is, when you look at numbers like this, you see a reference number. These numbers are close to 100. So it's easy. Get the difference here and add it to this 23. In fact, you even ignore 1 here and you just use that one. If you have a number like this, now you ignore this one and you have only 12, and you know that what's the difference between, you get the difference between 100 and 53, which is 47, and you add the 2. So in a way, what we're doing here is you are adding, you are making the subtraction simpler by having some figures that you can finally add instead. So that is why that is a mentality, or that is a focus that if you use, your subtraction becomes easier. So what did I talk about? I talked about the rules now, how to think in terms of those rules. When you want to subtract 9, just subtract 10 and then add 1. And now I talked about subtracting numbers that are above 100 and below 100. If you have those two numbers and you want to subtract them, that is the method, okay? So that also works. Now, the next level, I want us to talk about subtracting whole number from small number. There's something in India, it's called sutra, and I will show you that one in a moment. Apart from that now, if you are following us, and if you like this show so far, remember to come to our YouTube channel. It's called Faster Learning Consulting. Go to our channel and have a look at what we are doing. If now it's holiday, the kids are bored, and you want them to learn maths, especially those kids who are struggling with mathematics, please go to our channel, go to Faster Learning YouTube, go to our Faster Learning channel on Facebook, and have a look at what we post there. It's all about maths, it's all about speed reading, it's about memory skills, it's about also learning a new language. So far we teach languages like German, Spanish and Italian. So this is going to help you learn a language very fast and also do maths very fast. And for next week, call us please. If you want us to have online classes for your kids, then we also talk to us, and we will offer that one to you. Okay, so let's go to the next. I'm going to give you another tip. It's easier to do subtraction when you use what we call sutra, and this is mostly when you're doing whole numbers, okay? So assume you have 100. Assume you have 100 and you want to subtract 23. Okay? So when you use sutra, this is the principle that works. The last number, subtract 10. The second one, subtract from 9, and then this one here, less 1 from it. That means that when I look at 23, I will just say 10 minus 3, I will have 7, and 9 minus 2, I will have 7. And the 1, I will less 1 from 1, which is going to be 0. I hope you understood it. So that means, let's try be a bigger number. So let's say we have 1,000, and you want to subtract 76 from it. How am I going to do that? So I'm not even going to think about. I'm not even going to think about so many things. What I'm going to do is going to say, the last one subtract from 10. The second one subtract from 9, the second one also from 9, and then the last one subtract 1 from it, less 1. So what am I going to say? I'm going to say 10 minus, you see, I'm not even going to like carry forward or borrow 1 from here. That one doesn't work on when you use sutra. So what you're going to do is like going to say 10 minus 6, you're going to have 4, 9 minus 7, you're going to have 2, and then you're going to have 9, and 1 minus 1, you're going to have 0. So that from sutra it's like 10, 9, 9, 9, 9, and then the last one subtract less 1. Okay? So that is a method that you can also use, and basically if you know that, if you see a number like 500, which is a whole number, and you want to subtract, let's say 42. So what you do is, you don't even, like from my point of view, I will just write here 8, 5, and then like that. I'm not, because I know the last one removed from 10, the second one 9, and then the second one less 1. So that means 5. You are lessing 1 from 5. Okay? So that is the fun part of it, because now you're not thinking in terms of like, let me borrow 1 from here, and that is a long process. Okay? So that even if you have 700 or 7,000 and you want to subtract from it 564. Okay? So in this case, even if you have this number 7,000, what you think of is you think in terms of 10, 9, 9 less 1 from there. Okay? So if you are going now from what I was saying, you go towards from left, like this direction, left to right. So from here I will say 7 minus 1 I know is 6, and then I will say 9 minus that one I have 4, and I have here 3, and I have 6. So in that case, I'm not struggling with borrowing from 7,000 to start subtracting from this, but I'm using this, what the Indian calls sutra. So less 1 from here, from the first number 7, and then 9, 9, and then the last one you subtract. Then from 10. And this is easy because if you are doing subtraction, even in a company as accountant, and you know you have figures like, let's say 7,000, like 70,000, and you just want to subtract let's say 2,484. So in this case, you want to be faster, okay? You want to be faster. One thing you think in terms of this 7 has to be less. You have to remove 1 from it, so we're going to have 6. The rest here, the 3 of them, 2, 4, 8, you are subtracting from 9. Okay, so 9 minus that one gives you 7, 9 minus that one gives you that, 9 minus that one gives you that, and then the last one is subtracted from 10, and then you have 6. You see, when you have this, you are writing answer very fast. And this is something that you can use for yourself, because you go shopping. Sometimes you have a whole number, like you have 1,000 Kenya shilling, or you have 100,000. And you go somewhere and buy something, and the funny thing is, like, you start taking your calculator to do basic subtraction. You've purchased something, or let's say you have 70,000, you've purchased something worth 2,484, and instead of doing this just from your mental perspective, from your mental, you start using a calculator, and you're wasting time. In this case now, calculator is a waste of time, because before you key in 70,000 plus minus 2,400, I will have already gotten the answer. So that is the most important thing with mental maths, that you do things very fast, and that you have an edge while doing any mathematics. Now it's KCPE. People are doing KCPE. I can imagine now there are those young ones who are struggling with the calculation, which I wish if they would have learned this kind of mathematics, they would have made it so easy. Like, my goal is always to teach kids to focus and improve their speed. I give them all the shortcuts so that they finish their mathematics exam within 1 hour, and we are still daring to finish those kind of exams within 30 minutes. So that is the daring that we want to do. If you like what you're doing, go to our channel, Faster Learning Consulting. Go to our website, look at what we are doing there. Go to our YouTube channel and like, subscribe, and share with others. If you know a parent somewhere who would like to work with us, also let them know, share with them so that they follow us. What we also doing during school sessions, we go to schools, and for example, if we go to a school, we go to like private schools and also universities and colleges, we can have a good arrangement where we have like a team and work with them for a period, or also just come to your school for 2 days. Mostly we recommend 2 days, and we work for 2 days, and then from there we see how the performance of those kids are going. If you have a school and you want us to partner, we can also partner for a longer period, so then we improve your mathematics performance in the school. So as always I say, call us, write us an email, and then we can figure out a plan how we can do that, okay? Otherwise, thank you so much for listening, and welcome again to our next show next weekend. Thank you so much, and bye.